Number 8. The number 8, attribute number 8 of mercy is He will vanquish our iniquities. Yechbosh abnoseinu. So it says like that. The relationship of the Holy One, blessed be He, to Israel is according to this attribute, namely, the secret of vanquishing iniquity. Sounds fancy. For the precepts are compared to a grapevine that's budding, its blossoms bursting forth. Fancy language. It shoots upward without limit, entering His blessed presence. Let's see what he means. However, sins have no entrance there, God forbid. Meaning there's a place where there's a place very holy where there's no room for sin there. Rather, He suppresses them, denying them entry, as it is written, no harm will befall you, which is in Tehillim, which our sages interpret as implying that no harm will befall man in your dwelling place. Thus, sin has no entry into the inner sanctum. That is to say, there's a special place where it's like if when you enter the temple, in there's no room for sin. Doesn't exist. It's like they say at the time of when Moshiach will come, people won't have the desire to sin. There's no room. Like you see truth, there's no room for sin. So there's a place in the, I guess, where God looks at you, where there's no room for sin in that place. He should look at you at the real you, your pure part, the peace of God that is in you. Okay, let's see. It's not clear yet. Since the precepts reside in His blessed presence, they have no reward in this world. For how could God grant spiritual reward in the material world? Behold, the entire world is unworthy of a single precept and the spiritual bliss of His presence. Meaning, in this world, we cannot experience God's on the highest level or our reward for what we do. It's beyond our grasp. It's like saying, or you take a child and you tell him, you should try Maserati. It's great. It's like, take a seat. Without win, how are you? Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're like another 10 minutes. So if you tell a child, I'm gonna buy you a Maserati, you enjoy. Like child can enjoy Maserati, it doesn't have the concept, right? So it's the same thing. If God will give our reward for the good things we do in this world, so we won't be able to experience it. It's beyond. The body cannot experience it. So for the same reason, God does not take the precepts as bribes. For instance, the Holy One, blessed be He, does not say, God forbid, He has fulfilled 40 commandments and committed 10 transgression. Thus, 30 commandments remain, for 10 are deduced in repayment for the 10th transgression. Sign up here, this is your reward, 30 commandments. Rather, why say God forbid, God doesn't do that. A lot of people think like that, say, I did 20 mitzvot, but I did 20 averot or 30 sins. I'm doomed. There's no point. Why should I continue if I sin so many times? Today I did 2 mitzvot. That's it. I go to hell anyway. What the hell? Let me forget about it. What? No. God is saying chas v'shalom. We're all doomed. Otherwise, we all sin more than we do mitzvot. I think. No, I'm probably me. You're probably hard, but me. We all. It's so easy to feel. God say no. God forbid. I didn't create the world for that, to just get you at the end, make a calculation. Like we are livestock, or like we're human beings. Rather, if even a perfectly righteous individual commits a single sin, it is as if he has burned the Torah. But when he pays his debt, he receives reward for all the precepts he has fulfilled. Meaning when he rectifies what he did wrong. So yeah, if you do a sin, it's like it's terrible. You burn the Torah, it's like you spit on the Torah, it's like you don't understand there's a God and it's true and there's goodness. It's like reject it. Okay, it's true, it's terrible. But when you repent, God says, it's as if you did the 613 commandments, because you want to be close to me, you love me, so therefore I want to give you everything, right? So it's much greater. So you can't compare it. This is a great kindness that the Holy One, blessed be He, does for the righteous. He does not deduct from the precepts they fulfill, for these are very precious to Him, and ascend directly to His blessed presence. Indeed, how could transgressions, whose punishment is a portion of that which is most despicable, Gehinnom, detract from precepts, whose reward is the radiance of the Shekhinah, which is so highly valued? How could one be exchanged for the other? Right? Instead, the Holy One, blessed be He, collects the debt due to for transgressions, and then He bestows the reward for all the precepts a person has fulfilled. So God doesn't meaning God makes sure that whatever you have done wrong, He's going to make sure He finds a way for you to fix it. Sometimes it's by suffering. As we saw before, sometimes God sends some suffering or pain because you forgot to fix that area. Let's say, one day when I was, 25 years old, I was hot-headed, gangster, and I punched someone with my fist, and I never tried to fix it and repair it and say I'm sorry or that. So instead, one day I'm gonna do some work, and I'm going to hurt my hand very strongly. And because I hurt my hand very strongly, this is going to be, or I'm going to break, God forbid, a finger. So I'll have to be stuck with my hand and understand the value of having a hand, and that I have to use it for good, not for bad, and that it's important. And that pain fixes my sin. That's one of the ways. If we don't fix ourselves, God finds ways for us to get a message that, and sometimes through suffering, that it gets healed. God does that on purpose so that we, at the end, when we come to the world to come, we experience the ultimate pleasure, and there's no remnant of sins, right? He wants us to get the best. He wants us to get the pleasure of Olam Haba. So obviously the best is to do tshuva. Don't wait for suffering to come. That's why it's so important to always look at oneself. And Elul, now we try to look at everything we have done during the year. Did I hurt anybody? Let me think, so you can repent, so that the next year that comes, there's no suffering involved because you forgot to fix something. This is the attribute of vanquishing iniquity. That is, transgressions do not prevail before God as the commandments do. Meaning, commandments come, but God doesn't allow them to come too high, so to speak, in front of Him. Rather, He suppresses transgressions, preventing them from ascending and entering His presence. And although He watches all the ways of men, both bad and good, He does not suppress the good. Rather, it rises up, ascending to the very heights where all the precepts merge to build an edifice and from a precious garment. Transgressions, however, lack this special quality. Instead, He vanquishes them, so they'll have no success and no entry into the inner sanctum. So let's make it to the practical. A person should also conduct himself according to this attribute. He should not suppress his fellow's virtues, but remember the evil he has done. On the contrary, he should vanquish the evil, erasing it from memory and abandoning it, so that he will find no evil in his fellow, and his good qualities will spread out before him. Very hard. Meaning, I'm a good friend, or it can be even my spouse, or it can be, and that person made a mistake against me, hurt me, did some things with me. Or we're not talking about someone who consistently abuse you, I'm not talking about that. This you have to protect yourself. We're not supposed to be like, innocent, what's it, someone who doesn't pay attention.
Abusive?
No, what?
Bully?
Yeah, I mean,
In a way.
I'll say, not someone innocent, someone...
Ignorant?
No. It's another word. Well, we should not be foolish to just being hurt all the time. The idea is But if it's something that happens once in a while, when I see the person did one little thing, says one maybe lashon hara or something like that, I say that's not my focus. I'm not gonna let that with the bad he did with me. I'm gonna focus on good, because that person did actually a lot of good for me. But what's the tendency of men? Even before that, what's our main nature? Oh, he did that wrong to me, right? We have negative. We look for the cracks. This bad person, he did that to me. What about all the good things he did? Usually it's much bigger. Everybody does a mistake. We hurt each other. We're human. So just like God, we should not let those negative thoughts come and think of the bad. Should I, let me focus on all the good he did. This I let enter me. This is why I'm going to have a good relationship and love that person. Thus a person should always remember the good, intensifying it over all the evil actions his fellow has done to him. He should not detract from this good in the heart, saying, although he did me a good turn, he also did bad to me. Right? I mean, as a generation, usually, oh, you did that to me. Well, I'm doing that to you, right? That's like, this is not at all the way to act. Although he did me, so thereby forgetting his fellow's qualities. Yeah, you put a cloud on it and you forget about all the good. This one should not do. This one should not do. Rather, he should allow himself to be appeased in every possible way regarding his fellow's misdeeds, never overlooking his good qualities, and he should turn a blind eye to his faults as much as possible. That's why you have two eyes.
One blind
one to close, not to look at the bad, and one open to look at all the good. That will be good as a reminder when you give a thing like that. Say, I only look at all your good and not the bad. That's good. That's a good reminder when you do that. No, that'd be good. I mean, you have to be careful when you do it because it's better to do with the same gender. If you do another gender, you might think something else. And he should turn a blind eye to his fault as much as possible, just as the Holy One, blessed be He, does in vanquishing our iniquities. So, very high level again, but that's really the work on learning. We have the saying, God does that all the time with us. That's how God acts with us. And God is saying, I acting like that because I love you tremendously. If you love tremendously the other human beings, you will also act this way. But you have to be proactive and consciously and work on that. It's very hard, but it's possible. All right.